Welcome to RELaunch, the real estate podcast focused on helping you find your success in real estate. My name is Lorne Cooper. I am an active real estate sales representative just north of Toronto, Canada. The whole purpose of this podcast is to bring you actionable content by interviewing the best of the best in this business, helping to take you from zero to hero in your real estate career. Welcome to RELaunch, the Real Estate Launch Podcast. My name is Lorne Cooper. I am your host. I am a full-time realtor just north of Toronto, Canada. I've been in the business for just under 7 years. And the reason for this podcast is really to help people find their success in this business. I had a very difficult time finding my success when I first started. And for that reason, I did a lot of research and I guess you could call it unofficial interviews of very successful realtors to find out what their path was like. And I wanted to bring that to the public. I have a lot of people coming to me asking me how I found my success. And, you know, I'm happy to share that, but I'm sure it's much more interesting because there are much more successful people out there than myself. And really, I don't claim to be the expert here. That is not my purpose. My purpose is more of a curator and someone who is curious to research and interview the most successful agents across North America, asking them what were their stories, what were their struggles when they first started, what were their successes, if they had to do it all over again, how would they do it differently knowing what they know now in their successful businesses, how their businesses are structured, how it's changed from beginning to end, or not end, but from the beginning to where they are currently. And I find that fascinating. I really like autobiographies and biographies of very successful people. And this is an insight into that world. So if I can go on that journey and take you with me, and these realtors have really opened themselves up. If you know anybody, as a side note, that has a great story when they started in this business, either they struggled or had success, and they want to share it and you think it would be beneficial, just reach out. I would love to get in touch with them. We're also going to be doing some breakout sessions, probably some breakout episodes of specific topics in mind that come up often with the interviews. I've already done several of these interviews, and I'm telling you, it's very fascinating stuff. They are a long format, so I like to listen to podcasts and audiobooks when I am going to and from showings in my car. And I don't know if you guys do the same, but I'm assuming if you listen to this, you probably do, and it's definitely worth your while to listen the whole way through. There are nuggets that are dropped from beginning, middle, and end in the stories that we can take, and not just motivational nuggets, but really actionable steps that we can take and implement in our own businesses to help our success get to the next level. So whether you're just starting in real estate or you've been in real estate for a while and you're finding that you've plateaued, I think that this podcast will help break through to the next level for yourself in your success. A little backstory on me. So when I first got into this business, as I said, I had a difficult time. I was hoping to transition from a full-time job, part-time into real estate, and then full-time into real estate. It didn't work out the way that I planned. I was let go shortly after I got my license from my full-time job. So at that point, my wife was home on mat leave with our second child on the way. And we didn't have that much in savings, and it was just hit the ground running. So I ran in a panic to my broker and begged them to help me figure everything out. There was some training provided and a little bit of mentorship, but not too much. And I really had a tough time. I went out there and I actively searched out people and topics online and in person where I could learn as much as possible. The problem that I had was I didn't have a real path to success to follow. I just heard this person got successful doing this and this person got successful doing that. So I tried everything. And I was really throwing everything at the wall to see what would stick. And when you try to do everything at once, nothing will really come from that, I've found. So in the first year, all I ended up doing was a total of 3 transactions. And really that's one transaction, 1 sale and 2 leases. It was brutal. The financial stress was excruciating. I mean, we went through our savings like you couldn't believe. We were drained completely. And all I made was about $12,500 that first year. So we went through our savings really quickly. Second baby on the way, exhausted as usual, and just mentally and emotionally drained. as many I'm sure can relate. So after my first year, I made a goal for myself that if I was going to succeed in this business, I had to do at least 10 transactions the following year to prove to myself that I was moving in the right direction. I didn't care where these transactions came from. I didn't care if it was buying, selling, leasing. I just needed 10. For whatever reason in my head, that made sense. So off I went, second year, really just running on that hamster wheel, busting my butt. And a lot of realtors in the office and management noticed how hard I was working, which was great, but it's not great when you don't get rewarded for it. Bottom line, end of the second year, I definitely improved. I hit my goal of 10. I think I may have even gotten 12. So between 10 and 12, but the GCI only amounted to about just over $38,000. Now that was 3 buy and sells and a bunch of leases. As I said, I didn't care. I felt like, okay, that's at least a sign that I'm moving in the right direction. From year 2 to year 3 was my breakthrough. And I went from that $38,000 in GCI to over $180,000 in GCI. And since my third year, things have been going well, and thankfully I've sort of hit my stride and keep on going in the right direction. But because of my struggles, I don't think I'll ever let go of that in my head. Deep down inside, there's always going to be that drive of that sort of starving, looking for success, always have to hustle kind of attitude. And I can relate to everybody who says that they're struggling, whether it's the beginning of their career or they're in a slump in the middle of their career. I can totally relate, which again is why I wanted to start this podcast. I want to help you guys and myself and everybody to learn different ways of doing the business. And we're talking to people all across North America, the most successful realtors, and solo realtors and realtors on teams, how they built teams, what happened when they started, how they got to where they are, what they're doing differently now from then, how they would do it differently. I may have already said this, but I've recorded this episode so many times again and again because I don't know what I'm doing with regard to this podcast thing, but I'm sure it will improve as it goes along. As I said, a great way to listen to this podcast is to and from showings. That's how I do it. I listen to audiobooks and podcasts. I suggest you do the same. I hope I'm not repeating myself, though I may very well be. So I'm going to cut this short now. I look forward to this journey and taking it with you. It's going to be some really interesting stuff. I've done a lot of these interviews already, and they everyone's being very open and honest and talking about their struggles and their successes. It's really fascinating stuff. Again, it's a long format, not like this first episode. The other episodes are much more long format, so hang in there because there's some real nuggets along the way. If you have any suggestions, questions, comments, please feel free to reach out. If you think you know somebody that would be great for the show, let me know, and I look forward to taking this journey with you. Again, welcome to the RELaunch Podcast, and let's get to the first real episode, which I guess would be episode number 2. See you there. Hey, everybody out there in podcast land. I just wanted to say thank you so much. I truly appreciate you for your support and for listening. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, share this all over social media, and especially share it with a realtor that you know that might be having a difficult time finding their own path to success. I'll see you on the next episode.